Good morning, everyone. This is Coach Keon Smith from Action Coach Guyana, and today I have the pleasure of speaking with Miss Yvette Irving from Qualitest Training Institute. Miss Irving, good morning. How are you today?
Good morning, Keon. I'm fine.
Thank you very
Practicing social distancing.
well. We all are, and it's good that we can use technology to still share some of the awesome things that are happening around the world. And it's great to be having this conversation with you this morning. So, Miss Irving, can you tell us a little bit about Qualitest Training Institute?
Okay, Training Institute has been in operation since 2015, where we started doing our phlebotomy program. We train phlebotomists for almost all the institutions, the healthcare institutions in Guyana. Our phlebotomy program is registered with the National Accreditation Council, and we're also affiliated with the American Medical Technologists, who is our certification body. As we all know, training is not enough. In the healthcare field, you need to be trained and certified for what you do. So actually, I'm a medical lab scientist by profession, but I'm also certified as an allied health instructor so that I can offer programs and direct programs within Qualitest Training Institute.
All right. So I definitely know that the persons who are in the medical field will definitely understand some of the terminologies that you're using, such as phlebotomy, etc. But can you just explain for some of the persons who may not be directly in science but may have an interest in science what phlebotomy is all about?
Okay, so I'm sure many of you had to go to the doctor, and in order for the doctor to confirm his clinicals, what he sees, your signs and symptoms, he has to get a blood test done. He needs to see the results from a blood test,
Okay.
which should be accurate in order for him to make an informed decision. So the person who takes that sample of blood, and also who's the most important person in the total testing process, because you know the testing process is made up of the pre-analytic, analytic, and post-analytic. And research has found that most of the errors within the lab were within the pre-analytic area. And why? Because that area is actually mostly manual. We don't have robots as yet. I mean, there are one or two. I mean, people have created robots to take samples, but sample collection is done by humans.
Okay.
People have to do it. It's not anything that's automated. I mean, the analysis, very automated, but you can have the best machines. You can have the best trained medical technologists because they're the people who do the analysis. But if that sample was not taken from the right person at the right time in the right container,
Yeah.
then the entire laboratory process will be flawed and you'll have errors in your reporting. And that will not help the patient, either the doctor.
Wow. So definitely the phlebotomists have a very key role to play when it comes to ensuring that the samples are taken off accurately so that the doctor or the medical professional can make their analysis correct.
There's
So
a saying,
as mentioned,
there's a saying we use in lab science: garbage in, garbage out. So if the phlebotomist does not take a very good sample, if it's garbage, then the result definitely will be garbage. It will be useless.
wow. So thank you very much for that clarification. Very, very informative as well. Now we understand that COVID-19 has brought a screeching halt to many of our regular, or as we call normal activities. First of all, from your with your medical cap on, what can you share with us about COVID-19? And then, secondly, as an entrepreneur, how has that affected your clients, your business?
Okay, I'll share with you pertaining to COVID-19 and actual testing.
Yeah.
Now, COVID-19 came upon us in the latter part of last year. And so there were no specific tests available for testing for COVID-19. When they decided to create a test, to make a test, they decided that we want to ensure we get the antigen. We want to get that specific germ that enters the person's body. We want to identify it. So what they did, the first test that they created was the PCR, real-time PCR, where you will have a piece, once you have that nasal swab, you'll have a piece of the RNA from the virus, and then you can make copies of it, and then you can decide, yes, the person has that specific antigen. Now, testing cannot be done. There also, people started to do rapid testing. And the rapid testing is basically serology. What that does, that picks up the antibodies. And that would have been after that picks up the body's response to the antigen. Your immune system responds to the antigen. Now that you will either have the IgG or the IgM. One will tell you have it, and the other one will say you had it before. History. One is history. And
Okay.
so, but also in introducing tests to facilities or to any lab, you must verify your kits. Remember, these kits are new. They also have been released by FDA. A kit in the medical lab has to be either CE if it's coming from Europe or FDA approved. Now, what had to happen is that FDA had to release some of these rapid testing kits or even the PCR kits for emergency use. Means that, okay, yes, you can use it, but you still have to fulfill, after everything, the dust has settled, you have to ensure that you fulfill all the FDA requirements, which takes, it's a long process. Yeah. So they have released kits for emergency use now. What labs need to do is to see which kits the FDA has released for emergency use. And then what you need to do is verify those kits in your own laboratory with your population, because it would have been released with the manufacturer's validation information. Now, when it gets to your lab, you need to verify it. And you can verify, if you want to use the rapid testing kits, you need to verify it. You need to look at the sensitivity and the specificity, and you use the gold standard, which is the PCR method, which is the real-time PCR method, as your comparison to say, okay, this PCR method said we had 5 COVID positives. We're going to run these same 5 COVID positives by this sample, by this test, and we're going to see what is the result. And once you get 5 positive and 5 positive, then you can say it's 100% specificity.
Understood.
You don't want also your tests to be recognizing the flu virus, the regular flu A and B virus, as the COVID. So that's why it has to be specific. So people have to understand that these kits, you don't just take a kit. It's better not to do a test than to take a kit and you just run the test. You did not do the sensitivity and specificity. You get false negatives, and you have people saying, oh, I'm negative, I don't have it. And they're touching everybody and sharing it because you have the asymptomatic people.
Yes.
So we need to be very careful with the testing. Nobody says you cannot use the rapid testing kit, but you need to verify it. The ISO 15189 says that any laboratory that's going to introduce a new test, you need to verify the manufacturer's claims. He validates it, and you verify his claims in your lab. And you keep you keep those results to show that, yes, what the manufacturer said, he said it's 100% specific, it's 100% sensitive. I actually got that with my population in my lab, and I verified it. And so the lab director then signs off, and that kit is allowed to be used in the lab. So labs need to move ahead, or institutions in Guyana can move ahead. What you need to do is to take a kit that FDA has approved for emergency use and verify it for Guyana.
So definitely. So we
So
want to make sure that
labs
yes.
need to move ahead and implement procedures that you're supposed to have in your lab. Verification is very important and it's easy.
Okay. Excellent. So it's very important that we make sure that we in moving forward adopt the right testing to make sure we can get the right results. Now, how has this affected you as a business owner? I know that you're training phlebotomists. How has this affected your business?
Okay, actually, you can say there was a positive, there's a little negative. Actually,
Mhm.
online training was scheduled for Qualitest Training Institute to be launched on the 20th of April, which was yesterday.
Yes.
After the COVID came and we had to stop our classroom sessions, we started maybe 1 month before. So let's say the 20th of March, we launched our online program for our students who were in the classroom. Now, there was a little negative there because some students are unable to have proper internet access. For instance, people living in Bartico and some other areas, they're not able to have proper internet access. And so after doing maybe one class, two classes online, they said, I cannot continue with this because I'm not benefiting from it. And we agree with them. And so they have stopped. So there's one entire batch that has decided that they will wait until classroom is back in session, until everything comes back, and then we'll resume their classes. Then there's another batch that decided, I think we have to move with this because we're going to try to make it work. And so we have one batch that's going ahead. And so now we're because of the COVID, and people being at home, I know that they have some people who have been practicing phlebotomy, but they are not certified and they did not do a classroom training. So I developed a training program specifically for people who practice phlebotomy. They know to take phlebotomy, they know to take blood, but they don't have the classroom, they don't have the coursework to support that so that they can write a certification exam and say, I am a phlebotomist, get initials behind your name.
Yes.
So I advertised an online classroom program for people who practice phlebotomy, but who during this time can just get the coursework, and then they'll be able to write the certification exam,
Yes.
and they will be certified as a phlebotomist.
Excellent. So providing solutions even in this time, what is going on. So can I ask you, Ms. Irving, what advice would you give to fellow Guyanese with what is happening with this pandemic?
I think we're into changing times. We have to accept that we have to do things differently.
Yeah.
We either get with the program or we will be left behind. I mean, if you want to continue living, you have to decide, well, I have to get with the program and move. So I can see from now on, lots of businesses, at least for now, I have seen with my business that I can do a lot online.
Yeah.
I can do all my administrative work online. I mean, I won't be able to physically, even if I wanted to, I can answer the phone, but only the cell phone. The physical landline is in the office, but you can answer a cell phone. And so you need to change and adapt and see how you can make the best for yourself and your customers, and try to encourage the customers that, I mean, yes, this is your goal. We both have something to work towards, and let's do this together.
Excellent. Excellent. And
Remember, the customer is always right.
yes.
And you have to try to ensure that at all times you give the customer what they need, not what they want,
What
what
they
they need, what they need.
So great advice, great tips. And, some persons are looking at this as downtime. We love to look at it as opportunity time. So what is something that you're currently doing right now in terms of your own personal development?
Okay, so basically what I'm doing, I decided since COVID-19 is going to be around for a long while, and I'm a retired bench medical technologist, I've decided I'm going to get onto a program that teaches me about diagnostic and testing as it pertains to COVID-19. So I enrolled in an online program at the London School of Hygiene and Infectious Diseases. I think they have an online program, and so I'm learning, and the course is really interesting.
Well, that's really good to hear that, persons are continuously bringing expertise to Guyana. And, if you didn't say that you're retired, we would have never known. So, would I continue doing whatever you're doing?
I'm a retired bench technologist. I'm now an educator.
An educator, excellent. So,
coincidentally, this is National Medical Laboratory Professionals Week. This week always was the highlight in my life as a medical lab professional. I did so many things when I worked with the Ministry of Health, and in other countries where I work, I always ensure that the lab professionals who are around enjoy this week. We have, different talks, we have tours, we have different things now. But guess what? Qualitest has arranged. We have arranged with my colleagues in the Caribbean a virtual Carib Lime on Saturday afternoon. We're gonna have a party.
Nice.
Using Qualitest Google Meet, and we're gonna have our Caribbean technologists from all around the Caribbean, and we're gonna have a nice time from 7 to 9:30. So we call it a Carib Lab Lime.
Wow, excellent. So looking forward to my invitation to that. And, just finally, what do you have that is coming up? I'm seeing on the banner that you have a class that is starting soon. Can you tell us just a little bit more about that as we bring our interview to a close?
Okay, so because we are online now for the same refresher program, we can also start more online programs as it pertains to phlebotomy. And so we're actually starting one today, where we also have four students from the Caribbean.
Okay, excellent.
4 students from the Caribbean. The head of their lab is a medical lab technologist from Guyana. Okay. And so she knew about our program, and there's none being offered in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. But they work in her lab, so it's kind of the in-service training for them, and then they're going to write the AMP certification exam.
Excellent. So this is definitely allowing you to reach farther afield, reaching across borders. So guys, there you have it.
And the cost is only $50,000. The regular phlebotomy course is $200,000. The cost is just $50,000.
Well, look at that. This is the perfect opportunity for you to take advantage of this offer. So please make sure that you call the numbers that you're seeing on the banner to get registered. So you can call Ms. Irving on 626-4122 or 225-1258 to secure your spots today. Ms. Irving, it's been a real pleasure talking to you today. Keep up the great work and continue to demonstrate or instill value in terms of education to the persons that come into contact with you.
Thank you, Keon.
Okay, good. Have a great day.
You enjoy the rest of the day, and please be safe.
Thank you. We'll definitely do.